Good afternoon. Welcome to today's 2018 NWSL Championship postgame press conference. At this time, I'd like to introduce head coach Mark Parsons of the Portland Thorns FC and forward Christine Sinclair of the Portland Thorns FC. Coach, if we could first begin with your overall thoughts on today's match and your team's performance.
Well, super proud of the heart and the effort. First half, Carolina were very good and thought we could sneak in with just 1-0 down. That second goal obviously made it a big challenge, but looking around the change room at half time, the belief was strong and the season's gone this way. The last few games have gone this way. When you got players like Sink and the troops working the way they were in the first half, while it wasn't going our way, you're always in with a chance. That third goal was going to be crucial. They obviously got it, and it was uphill from there. But the character that was shown in the second half shows what this team's about and where this team's going in the future. Because to be in that position, obviously in the stadium with fans still giving everything they've got, they keep pushing, they keep working, and no one took their foot off the gas. And unfortunately, that ball wasn't going to bounce the way that we wanted today. And while we'll overanalyze ourselves, we've got to say well done to Courage, because I thought they were very good. Their players worked hard and they executed and put us under a lot of pressure.
Thank you, Coach. And Christine, if we could get your overall thoughts on the match as well.
I think just disappointed sitting here right now, just because not many people get a chance to play a championship game in front of their home fans, and the fans were incredible again today. But yeah, like Mark said, congrats to North Carolina. I mean, they walked through the league this year and made it very difficult for us today. Going down early, it's never easy, especially against a stingy defense that they have, and we just couldn't create that golden opportunity that we usually do to get ourselves back in the game. But it'll take a while, but just super proud of the team, the staff, the whole organization. It's been a great year.
Okay, we'll take questions now. We'll begin in the front with Jonathan. Please state your name and media outlet.
Jonathan Tannenbaugh from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Mark and to Christine, something seemed to, as Christine alluded to with the offense, not quite be clicking in some parts of the game today. What did you see from the bench? And Christine, what did you see from the field?
Well, I think Sink ripped one in the second half. Tobin got one off as well. First half, we just lacked that final effort to get a shot off, unfortunately. Second half, once we started to do it, I felt like we had control in our attacks, and we're getting in the final third. We just didn't have that final push to create the quality chance that we normally do. That wasn't there today, or even just to get that shot off. I thought that's something that they did well. They finished their attack well, we didn't quite find that rhythm today. It's something that's been a strength, finishing our attack. It helps us not just create chances, but it obviously helps us in transition to avoid transition. Wasn't quite there. Credit to what they did defensively to make sure it wasn't there.
Okay, next question.
Can both of you just say a little bit about, you mentioned playing at home in front of your fans, but it's a sold-out crowd. This is the highest attended women's club soccer final in American history. Can you just say a little bit about what this day means for women's soccer?
I think it's just a huge day for women's soccer. I think this is hopefully what the future of the game is going to look like in this country. I mean, here in Portland, we have the honor and the privilege of playing in front of this crowd week in and week out and being a part of this organization. And my only hope is that other cities and other clubs in this league start to get that opportunity as well. I mean, we're treated 100% like professionals, and the professionals we are, and everyone in this league deserves to be treated the same. But I think this is the standard for women's soccer in this country, and yeah, I'm just proud to be a part of it.
You guys talked about North Carolina sort of walking through the league this year, even with how well you guys were playing. What is it about that team that made them so difficult, and for you guys not to be able to get a win against them this year?
I think the first three games we could talk about loads of different factors. What today's game presented was was both teams at almost full strength. You know, missing Meg Morris, Kath Reynolds, Hayley Rasso, then missing McCall. Both teams doing well and finishing the season strong. I mean, our form obviously was the best across the league this last few games. So that's it. This one made it a bit different than the other three. I've got a long list for the other three. Yeah, I mean, it's just the first half didn't quite click for us. The work rate, and it was led by Sink, and we talked about it at half time. We talked about it, told her after, the way that she put herself about today. And I know a lot of them worked really hard, but Sink really led by example. It wasn't a lack of effort, it wasn't a lack of character. You know, I know when I watch it back, and it's going to be pain for a while, that we're going to find ways that we could have helped these players a bit more in a lot of areas, because that first half didn't look like the way that we thought and we planned. And you know, I think that's going to be the biggest regret, that we know we can control some things that could help this lot, that we're ready to bring everything. You know, we could help them a bit more. So this game, yeah, tough first half. You know, second half looked like what we hoped the first half would look like, and we got in a rhythm there, finishing our attacks, and just couldn't find that goal that would have obviously taken this stadium, taken the roof off, and really got us rolling.
Mark, we talked yesterday about the physical nature of last year's final, and both coaches seemed to indicate that you wish that, you know, each other would come to play soccer today. It was a lot more like that today. It's a little fresh, but do you wish that this game maybe had been a little bit more physical from your end?
No. I thought there was good energy and good pressure on the ball from both teams. I thought it was quite physical. There wasn't the fouls that there was last year. I think both teams probably caught each other a couple of times, but I mean, I think today you hoped what the game is: full of energy, good commitment to working hard, moments of good soccer for both teams. Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, we've been kicked around a lot this year. I've actually wound this lot up a few times. We've been kicked a lot. We keep holding on to the name tag of kicking people. It hasn't been that way for a while, guys. We're trying to compete enough to be able to play the soccer that we want to play. I thought both teams competed well, and their pressure was good. Our pressure was okay and got really good near the end there. So much better quality of game than there was last year.
Okay, back in the front.
Mark, there have been days when Ellie's been really good, and there have been days when she's been exposed a little bit and run past a little bit. As she matures and grows, as well as she has played on so many days, how do you make sure that, like any defensive player, she sort of erases this one from her mind and goes forward and keeps getting better?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it'll take her long. 18 years old. Hopefully she can have some soda this evening, and
We'll make sure she has soda.
yeah, and has a good time, and then gets, you know, she was in a lot of pain at the end, gets better, and yeah, she's young enough just to move on quick. I mean, she obviously misplaced some passes that could have kept our attack going a few times, but she still kept them at bay. She had the mobility, she had the mentality to be able to keep up with their runners today. She did a good job and mentally, you know, stayed in there throughout. So yeah, no concerns. I mean, she's come in, she's been outstanding. There's so many young players went through a transition this year. You know, when Seattle, Kansas went through transition, lost big players. You know, they couldn't make playoffs for a couple of years. What we've done, and it's because of the core of this team. We've had transition. We brought in 22, 23-year-olds, national team 22, 23-year-olds, and you know, we started and stumbled, and we finished really strong. And we got this team playing some great football and getting the best out of as many players as we could. And Ellie was one of them. So it's an exciting future for her. And the way Sinky ran around today like a young 18-year-old, great future ahead of Sinky for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yep.
This group has seemed really cohesive throughout the year, and in a way that I think maybe they haven't in previous seasons. And I'm just wondering if both of you could speak to that a little bit, and then Coach, as the coach, and Christine as a leader on the team, what were your messages to the team after the game?
I haven't spoken to the team after the game. I think just we all needed a little bit of time to let this sink in. A lot of our families are in town, so people went and saw them. In terms of this team, like, it's been so much fun. It's a great group, from an 18-year-old Ellie to myself. I mean, we've gotten along so well. We've truly come together. And I think about our team, like last year and the years before, there's been some games where we've gone down 2 goals and come back this year, and that wasn't going to be the case last year or the year before. Just we connected off the field, and you're able to see that on the field. And yeah, hopefully we don't get rid of too many players, Mark. Let's keep the same team. I like it.
Shit, the Queen of Portland has spoken, so yeah, same. I mean, that's just what makes it gut-wrenching. And hearing Sink say it makes it even more painful. Someone said it earlier today, and I hope you guys lift the trophy today, because this is such a good group. Special group that value the right things on and off the field. And I think that's why fans in this city can be proud of what this team is, because what they represent and the togetherness they've shown. And yeah, this pain will spark a reaction in all of us and collectively. But hopefully, if we can keep as many of these guys together, the future is bright, very, very bright.
Okay, we'll take one more question.
I wonder if you can speak a little bit more about the future of the team. You know, that they are so young, and it felt like the team was was growing so much together over the course of the season. I mean, how much further do you think this team has to go?
You can take that one there, boss.
I think Caitlin's an example. So it feels like she's just finished pre-season. She's been going 5-6 weeks now since coming back. August, September, 8 weeks. So a week or 2 weeks outside of a full pre-season. She had her best game today. Her hold-up play was exceptional. Movement was exceptional. Even kept her cool when some decisions didn't go her way. You know, you look through all the group here, the core that's been here now for 3 years. AD is young at heart and starting to get into the prime and of the next 4, 5, 6 years of what goalkeepers normally do. Look at the back line: Sonnet, Ellie, Menges, Klingak's young most of the time. Sel, what a tremendous job she's obviously done. Yeah, and Andrea Senior, 22, 23. Lindsay, how young she still is. Aoife, Midge, Tyler, Mal, and it not only just their quality, but their youthness and their mentality really helped us this year, and brought, as you saw at basketball the other day, brings out the young side of even the legends like Sink. Yeah, and it's, of course, it's not necessarily, there's a lot of young in age, and the average age last week was 24 or 25 in a semi, a little bit older today with Anna back in for Midge, but yeah, young team that doesn't play that way. And I think what we've done this year in the football, and what this group, what Sink and the leaders of this group have created off the field, will inspire these young players to be here for a long time. And for us as a club, we've got to reward the great efforts that they've all done this year.
Okay, if there are no further questions, I'd like to thank Mark and Christine for joining us. We'll be joined shortly
Thanks,
by
guys.
North Carolina Courage head coach Paul Riley and forward Jess McDonald. Okay, at this time, we are pleased to be joined by North Carolina Courage head coach Paul Riley and North Carolina Courage head coach Jessica McDonald. Coach, we could first begin with your overall thoughts on the match and your team's performance.
Yeah, I think first a shout out to McCall, Yuri, and Kinga. They couldn't make it today to be here, so shout out to all those guys. And yeah, it was a really good performance. Forget the result. I think the performance was really good. We deserved to win the game. I think we dominated major parts of the game. Midfield bossed it. And then the Twin Towers up front caused a lot of problems today, and executed everything, and I was really happy with the performance, more importantly than the result, to be honest with you. But I think it summed up the season. It was a great season. Sometimes you get to a final and it maybe doesn't produce what you want, and today they produced everything you could ask for, I think, in a performance, and it was a good start to finish. Rode a little bit of the wave early second half, first 10-15, and then got a grip of the game again and just kind of pushed the game on and got it done. It was a really, really good performance. Great defending too, a lot of blocks, a lot of good marking in the penalty box, couple of good saves, and really happy with the performance.
Thank you, Coach. And Jess, if we could get your thoughts on the match as well.
Yeah, we wanted to go in there with confidence because obviously it's a home game for Portland Thorns, and they got to play in front of their fan base, which is absolutely an incredible thing. You couldn't ask for better fans to play in front of. So we wanted to go out there, give not only them a performance, but also our fans that couldn't make it to the semifinal, our players that couldn't be here with us. And, it was kind of an all or nothing kind of game, and we just continued our process this season, and the only thing we wanted to do was improve in today's game, and that's kind of what we did. We put away our chances, which was an incredible thing, and just overall a great team performance.
Okay, we'll take questions. We'll start with Jamie in the front.
You guys, Paul, you had said, you almost felt like the underdog coming into this game after all the adversity, McCall's injury, the hurricane, getting the game moved here, short rest, all of those things. What does it mean to see the team come out like they did, given all that adversity?
Yeah, I mean, you talk a lot about resolve and resilience, and it's a word we use a lot in the locker room, and I think it comes with the team that we put together and the culture of the club. And I mean, everyone thinks their team works the hardest, right? So I would say that this team does work the hardest, and it's been a tough season. We had a target on our backs for long stretches of the season, and I think they handled that pressure and bore that pressure on their shoulders really well. And today, under this kind of cauldron, it was tough, man. It was tough. I could see their faces begin the game. Thought we could get through the first 10 minutes, we'd be okay. But they've come through, and there has been a lot of adversity. I mean, we miss McCall. You can't replace McCall. You have to somehow add percentages up in positions in the midfield and in the full-back areas, but you cannot replace McCall. And I mean, Sullivan was outstanding today. I mean, outstanding. Shasta ran all over the field, and she's won so many tackles in her life, but she was brilliant today. And Sammy Mew was a great partner with her today too. And the two of them really bossed the game. I was really happy with them. And Crystal Dabina got loose in the 10s, and I think we caused a lot of problem in the 10s. They couldn't find Dabina, and she got loose in a lot of spaces, caused a lot of problems for Carpenter and for Klingenberg on the other side. And I was really happy. And then obviously the back line was tremendous. Jay Hinkle and Merritt Mateus down those two full-back areas. Merritt, took Tobin out of the game. She didn't touch the ball for me, and I thought Merritt was brilliant today. So, yeah, God bless. It was a really great performance, and happy. Move on.
Wait, Jess, can you answer that too about overcoming the adversity?
I mean, we've been kind of going through those types of things for the past few years together as a core, and it's one of those things that we use almost as motivation a little bit. There are things that we've gone through throughout these seasons that people don't even know about, and so for us to not even give a single complaint, we didn't complain not a single time when it came to the hurricane. We had to come here and not play at home. So it's just little things like that sort of give us a little bit extra fuel, a little bit extra spark, and so just the fact that we're in it together, no matter what tries to get in our way, we're going to continue to try and put on a good performance.
Jess, could you talk a little bit about sort of the journey you've been on the last few years? Obviously here in Portland with Paul, and then sort of got bounced around the league, and finally coming back here and winning this championship. And then Paul, could I get your thoughts on that as well?
Yeah, it's kind of nice for me as a veteran. I've bounced around a lot in this league, and I finally found a home, finally found a place where I'm comfortable, where my kid is comfortable as well. And so, that kind of comfort sort of gives me some kind of motivation. And so the fact that a team really wants to continue to want me with their organization, it's kind of nice for me as an individual, because you know, at the end of the day, with a kid, it's kind of hard to move from place to place and find a new school, find new people to get comfortable with. So the fact that we're in the same place once again and want to continue to be, it's kind of nice at the end of the day. And, you know, it's a little less stress for me as a mom and as a professional athlete as well.
I don't know what to say about this one. It's tremendous, and I don't know if you can write a better script, right? I don't think you can write a better script for Jess Mack. I mean, leads the league in assists, and I think that was her 10th goal of the season today. I mean, that's unbelievable. You know, we said that McCall was getting better at her age, but I think Jess Mack's getting better at her age. Abby Ezzig's getting better. Jess continues to. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I thought if we could get 4 or 5 out of Jess would be good and, you know, get 10, 12 games out of her. But as the season went on, she got better and better. She's fitter this year than last year, took care of herself, I think, more off the field. And she's a mum. You know, after practice, we go home. I do a bit of reading, and the rest of them probably sleep. But this one has to work even harder with her kids. So I give her an amazing amount of credit. And what a leader she's been in the locker room, what a leader off the field. And it's good to have Jess. It was good in Portland when I had her, and it was really good the last couple of years. She's a phenomenal person, phenomenal player, and to see her get the MVP for the final is just what a script. You couldn't write it.
Okay, we'll take our next question in the back.
Paul, I spoke to Crystal Dunn on Media Day, and she gave you a lot of credit for helping her come along as a 10 and, you know, telling her what you needed from her, but also giving her the freedom to play it the Crystal Dunn way. For you, how do you evaluate Crystal in that role, you know, maybe at the beginning of the season compared to now? And do you think that we haven't seen the best from her yet in that role?
Yeah, I think she's still learning it, to be perfectly honest with you. I think she's really improved since the start of the season in that particular role. We played her up front a little bit early in the season when Linny was there. I think Crystal played with Jess. They were really actually very good together. But she found a home in the 10, and I think the biggest thing changed for her was, you know, when to open up, when to tuck in, when to get into the middle, when to get in the half space, when to get in the wide space, and I think that's still a work in progress. You know, she scored, you know, a good amount of goals from the midfield. Her and Dabine, I think, both scored a good amount of goals, and I think in your 10s, if you can get that kind of production, then you're doing well. But I think she can go further. I got to be honest with you. She's becoming a better player the older she gets because she's slowing down a little bit. She's not as quick as she used to be. So she's using her brain and her intelligence, and I think that tactically she's much better than she used to be. You know, she played in my club when she was a youngster, and there was a lot of speed and a lot of one-on-one type of individualism. Now I think she's much more of a well-rounded player, and I mean, she can play anywhere for the national team. But what a player today! I mean, she ran her socks off today, and some of the quality that she has, whether it's passing, whether it's distribution, whether it's getting in behind, and I think it's good. I think it's also good for Crystal to play with Sullivan and Dabina, these foreign players. I think they add a lot to our team, and you know, sometimes they don't get a lot of recognition, Dabina and Sullivan, and I think they should, and I think they do a lot that players like Crystal and Sam Ewers can learn from and have learned from, and I think they're really important to Crystal in their future if they can keep the group together.
Okay, we'll take our next question.
Hey, Paul, congratulations. Can you talk about how Jaylene Hingle played today, and did you have any conversations with her regarding the way that you and probably she knew she would be received by the crowd today differently from everybody else?
Yeah, I did actually. Last conversation what I had with Jaylene, and I just said, you know, do the best you can, man. Be strong out there. And I thought she was phenomenal tonight. She wasn't so good Tuesday night. I think she knew that, and she's had a phenomenal season. I would think that was a typical performance tonight. And you know, she got booed every time she got the ball, but it didn't bother her tonight. She got on with it, and I thought she put in a first-class performance today. Her distribution, her tackling. And she closed Carpenter down that right-hand side. There was nothing coming down that side, and she defended well at the back post, which is never easy when Haran's drifting in that back post. And Jaylene's worked on a defensive part of her game a lot, and I give her a ton of credit, man. She hung in there today. She was strong, and I just saw in the locker room she had a few tears in her eyes, but you know, she got it done today. So.
Okay. Next question here in the front.
Paul, you talked about feeling like this team works harder than every other team. Is it also more talented than other teams? And when you talk about a 15-point gap in the regular season or 5 goals in the playoffs, how much of that is talent? How much of that is work? How much of that is the bond they have?
Yeah, I think that over the last, I think you have to look at the last 3 years, the evolution of the group, and you know, Jess has been through the evolution, and it's, you know, 12 players I think that have come right the way through, and 8 of them started today, and I think the evolution of that group has been phenomenal for me to watch and see them mature, and a really phenomenal group of athletes as well as players. And you know, when we started out, nobody was on the national team. You know, I think they've generated this kind of culture in the club. They've done a lot, and we empower them as much as we possibly can. But I'm so proud of them to be able to develop like they've developed. And I don't think sometimes Lynn Williams gets the credit she gets. Jess Mack gets the credit she gets. I don't think Sam Ewers. I mean, Sam Ewers couldn't beat Shannon Box for this U.S. national team, but she deserves to play, and she should play. And this is a player you can nurture. I think you can nurture Lynn Williams into a terrific forward. And Jess Mack asked me 3 months ago. She goes, "Have I got a chance to get back on the national team?" I looked at it honestly and I said, "I don't know, Jess. You're gonna have to play really well. You're getting older now, and let me tell you." Be knocking on a few doors after that one, but she had a phenomenal time. And then you got two fullbacks. Jaylene's been with us since the start, and she's really improved. Abby Dalkamp has added some steel to her game, and you can go on. Sabrina D'Angelo and that 2015 group that was drafted was really the core group that's been with us all the time. We've added a few pieces, and obviously Abby Erzig, who will be the Defender of the Year, I hope, because she's been phenomenal and a great leader. And I think it's just an amazing. When I go to practice every morning, it's just amazing to see them develop, see them do things, and it's never half. We never get half measures with them, never. And I don't expect half measures. I push them hard, and the staff try to service the team as much as we can. But it's a caring atmosphere, it's a nurturing atmosphere, and I think that's helped the younger ones come on. And when we first got there, it was about just having a bit of fun, and then developed into something more. And they've had a phenomenal season. No finish. You have to take your hat off with 12 wins and 4 ties away from home in 16 games. That's a phenomenal output, and it's not easy on the road. And I think Panera and Pancakes worked, didn't it? Yeah, Panera and Pancakes worked in the end. Yeah.
I have a question for both, if you don't mind. Jess, I spoke to Ali Riley over in England recently, and she said that one of the reasons she hasn't come to the NWSL is because of the trade system. You mentioned that you've had to move around a little bit. Was there ever any doubts about continuing your career when you were unable to kind of find a home? And Paul, one of the reasons that people love the playoffs and the championship game is that it's knockout football, and you guys don't get a huge amount of opportunity to take part in that. So how much would you like to see, you had a taste of the ICC earlier this year, how much would you like to see that expanded and maybe made into a knockout competition so that you get that opportunity to play bigger knockout games?
Yeah, go ahead, Jess, you want.
At the end of the day, I really want to continue to stay motivated. There were times that, I thought about retiring. That's a definite thing that has definitely crossed my mind a handful of times because I was bouncing around. But I continue to stay motivated. I stayed motivated for my kid especially. I didn't want to give up so easily on this career. Yeah, I mean, it was sort of a downfall moving from place to place, kind of being somewhere new, somewhere fresh, but by the time I got to Western New York Flash, that was the first organization that I knew wanted me, and this is the first time I've been with the same team for 3 years. Yeah, we moved to North Carolina, but at the end of the day, it's still the same team. So it got comfortable over the years. So, at the end of the day, I just didn't want to give up so easily. So I just continued my journey, and here I am.
Yeah, I'll talk about the knockout thing. I think, obviously, I don't know about the ownership, and we have tremendous ownership with Steve. He's been brilliant since we got there, and I appreciate the Salins too, obviously getting us to North Carolina, and Aaron giving me the job way long ago. And me and Aaron have talked about it a lot, and about the opportunity to play knockout football and an open cup type of event, and I love that type. The ICC was an amazing experience for the players. I think it came at the right part of the season for us. We had quite a few players away, but for the other players, it really kept them on board, and it kept the spirits and I think it kept the competitive environment. I think if you don't have that in July, I'm not sure we lose between number 17 and 24. I think we lose a few players. I think we need to expand rosters. Obviously, we need some help roster size wise, and the cup would be amazing. I'd love to play in the cup, and I don't mind playing a cup with European teams a couple of times either. That's probably the wife calling. Hold on. I think it's amazing. But this, I love the Open Cup on the men's side. So I think it's, and we need an all-star game, Tom. Can I say that right now? We need an all-star game. These players deserve an all-star game, and and then I think the players who, you saw the first team and the second 11, man, if those two played against each other, it would be a phenomenal game. I mean, I would pay to go and watch that thing. That would be amazing. So I hope we get all these things, but it's a growing sport, it's a growing league. We're still doing a lot of things. The ownerships are trying their best as they possibly can. The owner has been terrific. Steve Malik has been amazing for us, giving us everything we could to succeed, and hopefully he'll continue to do that and continue to push on in the league, and other teams get better as well. My wife's going to say, "Why didn't you pick up the phone?" You know that, right? She always says that.
We have proof. We're on camera.
You have proof? All right, good. All right, just checking.
Coach, I wonder what you thought of Caitlin Rowland's performance getting shut out, and especially how she handled the service that Portland kept putting into the box.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we talked about the two goalkeepers a lot during the season. Sabrina started the season as number one, got injured. Caitlin came in, grabbed the number one, and then she got obviously concussion. And Sabs was a good fit for the Chicago games. A lot of breakaway type things, shooting, and Sabs is good at that. And I felt in the air, you know, we could have picked either one tonight. I felt early we needed Kate tonight, size-wise, and oh man. There's nothing like seeing that big yellow jersey come above everyone and grab a few, and she was terrific today. Made big decisions to come out, and when you're under pressure and there's balls coming in the box from Tobin and Kling and Carpenter, and then they're good crosses to the ball, and I think she was phenomenal in the air tonight and brave, and I think it was quite a lot of big moments on those corner kicks when you need it. She punched one out when she was about 19 players around her, and she got a fist to it and kept it out, and she did well. And she made a good save too, early second half, lower left. That was a big save for her. And she's not a shot blocker. She's more of a decision maker for me, a crosser. And again, I always think about the U.S. national team. I think they're similar to us. They don't give away a lot of shots, but they do, you know, crosses and things like that. Probably, you know, if you're going to lose to Sweden, you're going to probably lose on a corner kick or a cross. And Caitlin's really good in that department, and her feet are very, very good, as you saw today. She doesn't do many things wrong with her feet, and I thought there was two obviously very good goalkeepers today. But Caitlin's had a great season. So has Sabrina, and she's gone off with Canada now, so it worked out for her too. But yeah, you got to hats off to Kate today for sure.
Okay, we'll take our last question.
Paul, first of all, it looks like you got doused in something.
I did.
By somebody. What was it and by whom?
It was water at first, and it was champagne in the locker room, so it's fine. I'm fine with it. Suit's ruined, but whatever, right?
You have, over the course of your career, as everybody knows, cast yourself as the underdog so many times, and there were times going all the way back to Philadelphia when you really were in some of the finals that you played in. But for you now to look back on having achieved the most successful season in American professional women's soccer history, what does it mean to you?
Wow, that sounds really good. Sounds like, really good, right? Yes. I mean, it has been an amazing season. But yeah, I don't think we can claim the underdog anymore. I think that one's gone. I think it's officially finished. I think it's officially finished. But we were the underdogs coming in here today. I mean, they've got more national team starters than we have, and we're playing in this place, which is a tough place to play. But I think it's gone now. I mean, after that season, it was a terrific season. And, you know, you always want it to end this way, but you're never quite sure it does end this way when it's knockout football. And the semi-final the other day, we had our jitters, but it was funny because Sam walked in the locker room and she was the first one in after the warm-up. And she goes, "My God, I feel so much better than the other day." And then Kiwi came in just after and said, "My God, I feel so much less nervous than the other day." And I was like, man, that's good. I think this is going to be a good day. And I think that's the one thing that stopped us playing the other day. A little bit nervy, and having been here 5 days, it really settled in. But yeah, it's been a historical season for the group, and I don't think we'll ever forget it, will we? No, I don't think so. But you got to come and do it again next year. And we no finish line was our thing this year, but I think we just got over the finish line. So I think now as players, they want to get better. They still want to improve. And from that end, there is no finish line. But from this season, put a line under it. Let's move on and have a glass of champagne, right, Jess? And celebrate the MVP and celebrate a great victory on the road in Portland.
Okay. On those final thoughts, we'll wrap up today's 2018 NWSL Championship post-game press conference. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Jess.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks,
have a good night.
Cheers. Let's go get it. Let's go get it.